So before release, that being the Alien PTB, a lot of people have compared the Xenomorph to the Demogorgon, including myself. But I was more so talking about in concept. But I still kind of got that wrong. See, now I get the idea why people would compare the Xenomorph to Demogorgon's power, because it's getting from point A to point B, right? And Xenomorph also has a range attack, just like Demogorgon in concept, right? But these two killers are fairly different from one another when you actually think about it. See, the idea of getting from point A to point B means getting from one destination to another, right? So technically, Dredge and Sadako would be a reskin demo. They both get from point A to point B in their own creative ways. Xenomorph, like I mentioned, has to travel through the tunnels manually. Whereas for Demogorgon can't cancel out that teleport and just move somewhere else. And that's where the similarity and difference come into play. But actually thinking about it, Xenomorph's power is 100% original. No killer is capable of doing that in the first place. But most killers don't have that freedom like the Xenomorph. I'm not saying Xenomorph's transportation is the best transportation in the game. There will still be points where I feel a control station is way out of place or not in a certain area that I feel can be important, and I'll have to just exit out through a control station that's close to the area that I want to go to because that area doesn't have a control station over there. But Xenomorph can relentlessly keep transporting from point A to point B. The thing about Demogorgon is that Demogorgon has to wait for a cooldown. And Xeno doesn't have to waste time placing any portals. The control stations are already there for you. The Xenomorph can also constantly keep track of where survivors are going due to the footprints. The benefit of taking out Demogorgon's portals is that you just stop his transportation, which is a great thing because he has to go over there and place the portal over there again. However, for Xenomorph, the benefit of going to the control stations is that you get to place down the turrets, which also stops Xenomorph from using that power. But it's not transportation, it's the crawler mode. Demogorgon gets more impacted by transportation than the Xenomorph does. The Saurus can stop Demogorgon's transportation, but not for Xenomorph, considering there's nothing to disable for Xenomorph because you can't get rid of the tunnels, but you can get rid of portals. I also think the turrets make it more interactive to face the Xenomorph. Playing against Demogorgon, you just disable his power a bit. Now, the obvious difference between their range attacks is that Demogorgon can't attack over obstacles. Xenomorph can, but Xenomorph's tail can't break pallets. Demogorgon's shred can. Overall though, I just find Xenomorph's range more better and is more beneficial for you, considering you could just attack them over tiles. I even seen some people attack over just random tiles like rocks, where they couldn't even see the survivor and they still managed to hit them. Like, that's incredible. I guess the downside is that you just have to suffer from constantly being harassed by turrets everywhere, since that literally stops Xenomorph from using that range attack. Demogorgon doesn't have to worry about that. Those turrets are really annoying. I just wish you would get a better warning when you're approaching them, so you could have some sort of counter to it, because I feel like they disable your power right before you can react, and that's what sort of catches me off guard, because I feel like I'm gonna tail strike a survivor and then the turret just blasts me out of nowhere, you know? But all in all, if I had to summarize, Demogorgon's power is more simple, Xenomorph's power is more flexible, but at the same time, they're just both different killers in their own way. Not the same, just in concept of getting from point A to point B, which is the transportation. But then it's like you could compare that to any other killer, so it's not even exactly Demogorgon that the Xenomorph is similar to. Because like I mentioned, Sadako and Dredge could get from point A to point B. Nurse could get from point A to point B. Blight could get from point A to point B, you know? They all could get from point A to point B in their own way. I can see where Nurses and Blights is different though, considering they don't have to go through anything or interact with anything in order to get from point A to point B. They could just do it. But yeah, that's just what I kind of feel about it now. I got the Xenomorph clone skin. Don't get me wrong, the queen skin is fire, I'm not gonna lie. But what I like about the Xenomorph clone skin is that it just stands out and it just looks really different. Like the tail kind of looks like some sort of dinosaur tail or something like that. I just love this skin. It just looks really cool. I'm always gonna rock this skin every time I play Xenomorph, no matter what. Was this from a movie or game? Because I'm not like, I know the Xenomorph, but I'm not like a huge fan of Xenomorph. But I'm really curious, like, where is the skin from? Other than that, I'm loving the Xenomorph. I think the Xenomorph is a really fun killer, and I would definitely recommend playing the Xenomorph to get them juicy tail strikes, especially through collision in some weird way. Anyways, love y'all, take care, I'ma see y'all in the next one, and peace.